I'm Quinn McClinton, and you're watching Elegance on 18 Wheels, Big Rig Spotlight. Quinn, Elegance on 18 Wheels. Look at what I have gotten myself into. I have fallen in love with another piece of beautiful equipment, but I've got the man himself. Conrad, how are you doing, sir?
I am a lot better now. Probably the best shape I've been in 3.5 years. I finally got this project done.
And you knocked it out the park with this. Oh my goodness, the fans are gonna love this. Conrad, please, first off, let's tell them that a little bit about you. How many trucks do you have?
Okay, this is the third one to my fleet, and you were talking to the one and only driver. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I've got an 1987 Peterbilt 362 that's painted purple, black, and gold like this.
Yes.
4.25 B model cat in it. That's kind of the old pride and joy.
Yes.
And I've got a 2014 389. It's got a signature 600 Cummins in it. And then this project behind me here is a 2020 glider that we just finished up after 3.5 years, and it's got a 2WS E model cat in it.
What wheelbase we got on this big
280.
Boy? 280. But you did something that nobody had ever believed you could actually do, correct?
Yes, we rolled this thing back to a 379 as close as we could. Wow. And there was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and there was a few people that said that I was nuts and couldn't do it, which they're probably right. And but it turned out extremely well, and what I did is took 20 years of the 379 year run and took bits and pieces out of it and made what I thought was a Peterbilt, the best Peterbilt I could find.
So, Conrad, what made them think that you couldn't achieve this with all the beautiful rigs that you already have?
Oh, I think because there were some, they weren't radical ideas, but I didn't know of many people that had really purchased a new truck and turned it back to an old one and still use the modern technology and the modern conveniences that the 389 has.
And guys, this is what he's meaning by that. He's got an old school grill, dashboard in here. He's got some of the new gauges incorporated into it. It is just absolutely stunning from underneath the oil pan, the oil separator, everything
it
has
did get a little bit carried away. I will not disagree with that at all.
And tell them about the air tank with how you converted that over. That is so cool.
This is the old school folks will really appreciate the old lubrifiner on the side. Well, actually, the lubrifiner is the windshield washer reservoir, but I just thought it would really complement what I was trying to do.
And guys, we're going to look at the engine and everything in a little bit, and we're going to look at the inside. Tell them how sweet you did that interior. It is unbelievable.
I had a friend of mine that I met. I met his mother. She was a receptionist at my dentist office. This Jordan Bernacki from Amana, Iowa, does a lot of hot rods, and this is the first semi he did, and he did a fantastic out of this park job to model it after the original Peterbilt first class interior. That was a forerunner to the American class. It was kind of just a short window of it, but he modeled that with some of his touches, and he just did a fantastic job.
And guys, we're gonna take a look at that, and you will not believe, I mean, all the squares line up throughout the bunk and the cab, and the doors, everything is just exquisite. Conrad, tell me, what's the colors, and why are you such a fan of the purple and black?
You're probably talking to one of the most fortunate people in the world. I had a grandfather and father that have done everything for me, and I had a lot of advantages that a lot of people didn't, but I always had to work. And my grandfather started me in the truck, and my family's been in the cattle business since 1952. And my grandpa's since passed, but long story short, he got me started, and we decided to order a new 2002 379 back in the day. And I was always a sucker for black with red fenders and a Viper red frame. My dad, he went to Kansas State University, and he said, you know, Conrad, everybody has black, reds, and whites. You need something different. He said, what about like a purple or something? And because that's what Kansas State's colors were purple and silver.
Okay.
And so anyhow, that was the first year when we ordered it of the model 387, I believe, or the 387s had a real special paint chip selection.
Okay.
And I found this L2318 Violet Effect and just fell in love with it. And my dealer talked to Denton, to the factory, and that was the first 379 that they painted that color with black roof caps and black fenders. And I just kept the black and the purple all these years, but added the gold and later to just, because gold was an old Peterbilt color of the 70s, to use as the breaker stripe.
And it is absolutely stunning. I mean, you made such a statement this weekend over at the show, and we got some photos, guys. We got to show you of all the awards that they won after the show was over. Conrad, is there any special thanks? I know you say thank you to your dad and your granddad. Is there any other special thanks you'd like to send out?
My wife.
Your wife. Outstanding.
My wife deserves a gold medal. She put up with this for 3.5 years. When I put on about 100,000 miles a year hauling cattle for my father.
Okay.
And I would get home and I would work on the truck instead of going home with the family. She stood by me the whole time. I wouldn't have, but she did. And I am eternally grateful to her and the kids for putting up with this, because it has been a challenge. And there were a lot of stumbling blocks along the way, but they all stood by my side.
And that is absolutely,
it's just the honest to God's truth.
That is so beautiful and stunning. And guys, I don't know, we could actually sit here and talk about this truck all day. I've been bugging Conrad for years to get him in front of my cameras, and we're sitting here in front of this little castle here that we found up here in Walcott, and I want to say thank you to the owner that allowed us to actually shoot in front of it. And but Conrad, I just, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you, sir.
Oh, it's
thank
an honor.
you for having the family over, and we got a nice shoot. And guys, we're gonna look at this truck a little bit more in detail. And once again, Conrad, thank you for being on Elegance on 18 Wheels Big Rig Spotlight.
It's a true honor. It's something a person always dreams about, getting a little recognition for all the hard work, because when you're in the middle of this and you're wondering, when you're polishing bolts and brass fittings, is this all worth it? This is what makes it worth it.
Outstanding. Everybody, this is Quentin McClinton with Elegance on 18 Wheels Big Rig Spotlight. Let's keep looking at this beautiful piece of equipment. Conrad, let me ask you something. Well, I know we got the cameras rolling. I see, this is what caught me the most. I love the way you took the inside and made it the outside. I see you got the paint graphics on the inside. That was so cool to add in there. What made you keep both themes going like that?
Well, like I said, everything got a little bit carried away, and it kind of grew as it went. And the two gentlemen that painted the truck for me are the most outstanding painters in the United States, and they thought we ought to stripe the inside of the hood. And after many hours, they got it done, and they did a beautiful job.
Unbelievable. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I'm Quinn McClinton, and you're watching Elegance on 18 Wheels Big Rig Spotlight.